Hi, Brent.
Hey, I'm sorry, I'm wearing a hat today because the office is closed.
It's okay. It's okay. All right. Did you go into the office today?
Yeah, I've got a lot of work to do, so uh,
Yeah.
yeah, this is
Yeah.
a rare day where nobody is bothering me, so I can get some things done.
Get some things done.
Yeah,
Right. Right. Well, no snow day for you.
no, we got work to do. I've got campaigning full time, working full time, and trying to still be a present husband and father, and so I can't just take a day off.
No, absolutely. Especially this t busy time that you're in right now.
Yeah, just a couple more weeks.
Couple more weeks, you're in the home stretch.
Yeah.
So, well, great. I'm glad you could join me. Um, just wanted to start a little bit with, can you tell me um, just a little bit about you? Tell us what inspired you to get involved in local issues? Is there,
Sure. Well, I was born and raised here, just north of Greenville, Texas, and my family had lived there forever. Growing up, my papa was Justice of the Peace,
oh,
and he had been county commissioner for years before that. And my parents were very involved in politics and just Republican politics
yeah.
generally. And so I grew up kind of with that all around me and
Hmm.
kind of in my blood, so to speak. And when I began my adult life, I worked as city attorney here in Greenville from 2007 to 2013, and so really got to understand how politics works on a local level. And then I was served on city council from 2015 to 2021. And during all of that time, remained very involved in local and Republican politics, and very engaged in what was going on nationally and on the state level. And so I think politics has been kind of part job and part hobby for my whole life.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good. Yeah. So you kind of know what, I mean, with your grandfather being a county commissioner, I mean, that sort of set the stage for you. And you had an overview of just how politics works and at the local level. A lot of people they're just not sure where to start. You had the advantage where you knew just from being in your family. But how would you encourage people to start? How would they find out about local issues that impact them on a daily basis?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is whether it's school board, city council, or county government, go to the meetings. It's free. You
Right.
don't have to do any work. Just show up and listen. And over the course of weeks and months, you're going to learn a lot just about how things work. You're going to sit and think, well, oh, that's interesting. How would I approach that issue? And so, having just an understanding of how the process works and how decisions are made. And I think mostly you're going to be impressed by how simple it is. That
Yes.
doesn't mean there aren't complicated issues, but it's not going to be something that the average person is overwhelmed by. And so just thinking, okay, well, would I spend money on that? Especially during budget time. So budget time for local governments in Texas really starts in July with
Mhm.
a budget adopted in September. And just trying to think, okay, well, yeah, all of those sound like really good things that need to get funded, but doing that is going to raise the taxes.
Mhm.
How should we work through that? Most people have at least some sense of how budgeting works,
Mhm.
and there are things you have to sacrifice one way or another,
Yeah.
and and I think working through that is important.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. That you're going to raise taxes. When anytime you want to add something to the budget, it's not just free. It comes from somewhere. So
Yep.
that's a really good point. Um, now
Every
you,
time the government spends money, they're taxing. Every time. There's no other
yes.
way to do it. And so when you say, yeah, I do think that we need to upgrade that park, or I think,
Yeah.
yeah, we need to fix these potholes over here, good things. Not, I mean, but okay, you're raising taxes. And so trying to just balance that with what the public expects, what the public can afford.
Right, what the public can afford, exactly. Because, it's people don't realize it's like it's either in a levy or it's a property tax or but it's, maybe a sales tax, but it's coming from somewhere.
Yep.
Now you're running for District 2 State House Representatives here in Texas. Would you talk a little bit about the legislative session in the House there? I mean, when does it begin and when does it end?
So the regular session of the Texas legislature takes place in January through May of odd numbered years. And the legislature covers a lot of writing a lot of laws and things like that. But I think the only thing that they have to do each 2 years is set the budget for the state for the next 2 years. And so that's kind of the first priority each session. And then they also address issues that are concerning um, to citizens, to the political parties, or to special interests or lobbyists, or whatever the case may be. And then, so that happens every 2 years, and then the governor can, on his own, call for special sessions on issues that are important to the governor that weren't handled in the regular session. Many times that does not happen. They accomplish what they are supposed to accomplish during the regular session. Bye, see you guys in 2 years, and then you go home and you get back to your job and your work and start running um, for the next election. This past session was, I believe, a Texas record. We've had 4 special sessions already. Some people are thinking that the governor is going to call for another special session. Special sessions last 30 days, and they can only address issues that the governor specifically called.
Okay, that's really helpful. Now you said that it's every 2 years. So are you saying that this coming um, year, 2024, the legislation or the legislature is not in session right now and will not be until 2025?
Correct, unless the governor decides to call for a special session. Now, it's
Okay.
extremely rare for the governor to call for a special session during an even numbered year, because that's an election year. So if he were to call for a session, let's say in June or July of this year, you're going to have legislators who are still legislators, but they were beaten in the primary a few months ago and they're just serving out the end of their term. It would be a weird situation for them to be voting on policy knowing that their voters just rejected them. I
Right.
don't know if that's ever happened. There is some discussion that the governor, because he is so angry with this particular legislature
Mhm.
and how poorly they did in 2023, that he may call them back into session in February of this year during a time that they should be in their district campaigning,
Campaigning.
and
Mhm.
drag them to Austin
Yeah,
to get them focused, so to speak, and to pull them away from their district. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but
sure.
anyway, that has at least been floated as a possibility.
Okay. So what kind of issues would really light his fire that would cause him to come back other than, just, like you said, he might be really angry. Are you talking about things like border issues or border security?
Yeah, so going into 2023, the biggest priorities for the governor were border security and school choice.
Okay.
We did not even get a vote on a border security bill or school choice until the fourth legislative special session. So didn't get it in the regular session. House did not even vote on border security or school choice, or the first, or the second, or the third special session. It was November before that was actually even voted on,
Yeah.
and the House did provide some border security measures, not as strong as I would have liked, or I think as the governor would have liked, but they did get some things accomplished. With school choice, the House rejected the governor's plan, and even the compromise plans that have been put out, they rejected those as well. And the governor is not happy at all about that, and he is endorsing uh, people against. He's endorsing pro school choice candidates across Texas, but specifically focusing on those incumbents that voted against him.
Okay. Well, that's important for people to understand that this process is not just something that the governor can decide. This is a part of your representatives doing their jobs and doing what they've been sent to do. And people need to realize that.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
this is very helpful. And as I said, you're running for District 2, and right now there's a runoff. And can you explain a little bit about how we got here? Why is there a runoff?
Okay. Well, our the House District 2 representative resigned in May under um, some unfortunate circumstances and left an open seat. And so 6 people filed to run for that election, that open seat, 5 Republicans and 1 Democrat. And the process that's laid out for in our law is that that election happens at the next regular election date, which was in November 7th. But in all elections in Texas, if nobody gets more than 50% of the vote, there's a runoff. And so what happened in November is um, I was the leading vote getter, but I only got 32% of the vote. And so the top 2 vote getters go to a runoff. In this case, they both happen to be Republicans, myself and Jill Dutton.
Mhm.
And we're both in a runoff election that will happen on January 30th. Early voting January 22nd through 26th. And so whoever wins that will become the incumbent for the rest of 2024. But as we've already discussed, almost nothing is going to happen in 2024. And so there's already a primary, or there is a primary scheduled for March 5th, a Republican primary and Democrat primary, to determine who is going to be the representative in 25 and 26.
All right.
So we kind of have back-to-back elections here, and they're both very important. The first one will fill the remainder of this session, I mean, this year, and then the next one will determine who's going to be the representative um, the next full term.
Okay. Yeah, that's a little bit complicated, isn't it?
It's bizarre. Yes.
Yes, yes. But I'm glad you took the time to explain it.
Well,
That's
thank you.
yeah, thank you. Um, well, I just have one more question. And kind of getting back to the legislative process. If a person has concerns about an issue and they want to see a change in the law, how would they contact you or any representative about introducing a bill?
Okay, there's several different ways to get that done. This is a great question. Um, so the easiest way is you can go to the House of Representatives website, find your representative, and then there's phone numbers and email addresses there to contact people. Um, I'm easy to find. I live and work here in Greenville. I have an office in Sulphur Springs as well, and most people in Canton know how to get a hold, or Van Zandt County know how to get in touch with me. But you can reach out directly to me, or once I get elected, through my office. And I've done that as a private citizen at times when I've had issues that I needed dealt with that involve state government. The other way to do it, and this is something I think most people don't know that's very important, is after you vote in the primary on March 5th, and every county does it a little bit differently, but here in Hunt County, I believe it is the Saturday after that election, they have a convention, and anyone that voted can come to that convention in the Republican primary and say, "Hey, I want to present an important, something that's important to me." And from the precinct convention to the county convention to the state convention, you can have issues brought to the party that to be a part of the platform, to be a priority legislation. And I know that may sound like a big deal. It's not. You can just go and say, "Hey, I've really got a problem with how CPS is dealing with this certain issue that relates to my family," or "I think that the speed limit ought to change on this highway here," or whatever. Somebody there can help you get that in the form of a resolution to pass kind of up the chain. And and once it becomes a priority of the Republican Party or part of the platform, now you're going to have the whole weight of the Republican Party or Democrat Party. They have a very similar process.
Hmm.
I'm not as familiar with it, but that they are pushing and promoting all of the legislators to pass laws consistent with those policies. And so, getting involved with your local party, in addition to being able to meet a lot of good people, that's a way to really move forward the things that are important to you.
Sure, sure. So it would be maybe helpful just to meet with them, and maybe they draft something, like the Republican or the Democrat Party would,
Yep.
they draft something and then contact your office or any representative's office and then put that forward.
Yes. And each so in this district, our each or in every county in Texas, there's a chair of the party.
Yeah.
So there's a party chair, and there's precinct chairs. So wherever you vote. But if you go to your party chair in Hunt County, it's David Hale. In Hopkins County, it's Donnie Weisenbaker. In Van Zant County, it's Lance Lenz. And you just say, "Hey, I'm really worried about this issue." You may be a farmer that says, "Hey, I really want to understand why I can't sell raw milk
Hmm.
to this store downtown and let them sell it for me." Okay, let's work on getting some legislation passed and moved up through the chain. And those people should be able to help you with that.
Okay. Well, great. This has been really informative.
Oh,
So,
good. I hope people enjoy it and inspires them a little bit to get involved. It's not as hard or as daunting as you think. It's a pretty underwhelming when you get into it and you just realize they're just people who decided to show up, at city
yes.
council or school boards or commissioners court or even state representatives. They're people just like you, and they
Yeah.
have concerns and they're engaged. So get engaged.
Yes. Very, yes. Thank you so much. It's really great information. So I want to thank you for taking the time to meet with me and just hop on for a few minutes. We can just talk and get the word out, share how this process works.
Absolutely. Well, have me back anytime, or give me a call if you have any questions about how things, anything that you have.
I appreciate that.
All right.
Thanks so much. You
Thank
stay
you,
safe out
Elizabeth.
there.
I will. Bye.
Bye-bye.